Hello, welcome to the Beyond the Questions podcast, because every great conversation starts with a question. We're having real conversations about life with life coaches, and we are anticipating another great episode. So get ready and let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Questions. We believe that going in deep with a question is hugely beneficial, and so we're glad that you're here. We believe that every great conversation starts with a question, so we typically do that. I want to introduce myself here real quickly. My name is TQ, and I'm the owner and founder of TQ Coaching Solutions. And if you're wrestling with self-doubt, fear, or inaction, and kind of watching maybe those dreams slip away, I want to help you gain the confidence to kind of grab those dreams back and see them come into reality. I've got a couple other coaches with me right now, and I want to let them introduce themselves. We're going to start ladies first with Ericka.
Well, thank you, TQ. So my mission is to support women who are experiencing trauma or relationship challenges or even just life changes, and so that I can be there to walk alongside them with that. So that's why I chose to get my coaching certification and be a compassionate support for them.
Awesome. Jason, you're up, Bubba.
Yeah, my name is Jason Roten. I'm the owner and founder of Jason Roten Coaching, and I want to work with leaders, whether that be in their life or in their business, helping them design the life they want or the team they want based on their values and their understanding of their own emotional intelligence. And so that's kind of what I do. And yeah, so it's good to be here again today.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. If you're listening today, we are also missing one of our normal people, our host. Her name is Kelly Grudko of Purposeful Pivot. She would call herself the Chief Pivot Officer of Purposeful Pivot, and she thrives on helping high-achieving women make their career pivot in their life. Whatever that next stage is, she'd love to do that. If you're like, but how will I know? This Kelly person, she sounds awesome. Just check one of our previous podcasts, and you will see the amazing lady that she is. I also want you to know, this may not be a big mile marker or exciting for anyone else but us, but we have just eclipsed 10 episodes.
Woo!
Come on. So we do a couple episodes a month. So we're approaching a half of a year of doing this together, which kind of blows my mind. You know, when it was a whim of, hey, guys, I've got this idea. You want to start a podcast and be coaches that talk about stuff? And so it's been awesome. And so I'm glad that we are on episode 11 right now, which we're titling The Confidence Gap. Does belief matter more than strategy? So I'm going to throw out this question to all of us here. If you can give me either one of your most confident moments or one of your least confident moments, I would love to hear that. I think our listeners would love to hear too. So anybody got one?
Well, since Ericka started with the introductions, I'll dive in. So a lot of people don't know this. I was a high school varsity cheerleader and cheered for 3 years in college. And so I was going to a college audition at a private school in Illinois. And the coach walked me in. Here I am, this like senior in high school. And the captain, the junior captain that year would have been the senior captain the year I arrived at the school, could not hit this stunt with his partner. And I saw what was happening and I knew how to fix it. And so he went to get a drink and he walked back into the room with me holding the stunt that he couldn't hit with his partner. And the coach's statement was, can we get you a uniform for the game tonight? And as a 18-year-old, just fully 17-year-old, fully arrogant high school senior, I was like, sure, whatever you need. Popped his stunt partner down and I was like, maybe try this. And he tried it and hit it. But still, it was by far one of my confidence moves.
Dude, that's a boss move, man.
He
Let me
probably
just
thought I
come
was the biggest
in.
jerk
Right?
ever.
What? You don't know what's happening? Let me show you what's going
Let me
on.
show you how to do that.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
And by the way, listeners, Jason, he's got so many things that he just kind of pulls out. I mean, he played football. I would have never thought had you did some cheerleading.
Yeah.
Ever.
I only played football as a little kid. Well, junior high, first year of high school. But yeah, so then I didn't grow anymore, so I was too small.
I still wouldn't have guessed that, dude. Thank You are the Renaissance man. You are well-rounded and involved in lots of things. So
All right, let's calm down.
Absolutely.
Let's calm down a little bit.
Man, I'm impressed. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, that's
I just
right.
want to let you know. Oh, man. Do you got
All
anything,
right.
Ericka?
Yeah, I'll go and just to say, I think it's the age too, right? I mean, at that age, those latter teenage years, we just think that we are amazing and no fear, anything can fly. So I would say this is more early teens when this happened. We used to go out to the river a bunch with our friends, had houseboats, boats, we would do it almost every weekend. Well, all of my friends, which I loved my friends, they all wakeboarded, which I wakeboarded too, but I also became friends with all of the older men because they skied. And I had grown up skiing. So I'm like, well, I'll wake up early and I'll go with you guys skiing. It's better to ski on the river when it's glass and all that kind of thing. So, we've been going out for a while and these men have been doing it their whole lives, right? Like when I say older, they're like I was like 20 something and I don't know, 50s, 60s or these men. And I'm like, I can do that. Yeah, totally can do what they can do. I got it. So we're skiing rather quickly, and I'm thinking I can just cut like they can cut. I cannot. Come to find out, I needed some more practice. So I'm thinking, here's my prime time to just do a couple, right? So my first one goes really nice, and I'm like, yeah, I got this. And I go to turn back and go cut the other way. I hit the first wake, I'm fine, but I hit that little bit of the second wake, and I am. And when I say out, I don't remember anything past that because
Oh, my
I
goodness.
fully knocked myself out. Ski came back up, hit me in the head. They,
Yikes.
of course, were my friends, thankfully, came back around. Like, my gloves were gone. My ski was gone. They said I was just floating there, and I do not remember full concussion at that time. So if you think you can hang with people that have been doing it for quite a lot longer than you just go a little bit slower.
There you go. Wow. That's impressive. Awesome.
Although
Did you
yeah,
ever get the cuts down?
yeah, I did it again and again and
Okay.
again. And
That's
I
good.
did have a few head concussions because then, I thought I was cool and could keep up with the wakeboarding jumps. And
Hey,
till I was like, I should order a helmet.
there's something for tenacity, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, you just keep after it.
And helmets weren't
Awesome.
cool back then, let's be honest.
Can I pause right here really quick? You guys, this has reminded me of something I have forgotten about. My youngest son has zero fear. And I'm always like, where does this come from? Because he just turned 7. He's like, Mom, how can I learn how to flip my motorcycle? I'm like, dude, please wait. And then now telling the story, I'm like, oh, ooh, I see where it comes from.
Yes, genetic disposition from his mama.
Ooh.
There you go. There you go. That's awesome. Man, in majority of my life, I would say I've not been the most confident of individuals. But when I was running track at Harding University, I was a triple jumper. I remember, I think it was my sophomore year, a district meet. No, it wasn't a district meet. It was before the district meet. And me and this one guy from another track club was kind of going at it. We were close. And he beat me out by like an inch or just a little bit. And I was like, oh, and we've had these battles before. We're still, it wasn't like this hate or anything. It was just good competition. And I remember saying to him, all right, giving him 5, good job, but there's district. And that's all I said. Like, I'm just laying down the line, man. There's district, which is like, our championship. This is when it really counts. And district, I went as far as I'd ever gone. Like, I don't even think I went any farther than that in my, even in the later years. It was just this adrenaline thing of, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this guy, And so I think it's just really interesting confidence. You mentioned your son, Ericka. Just today I was on social media and there was this clip of Shaun White, if you know, he's a snowboarder, or I don't know if he's still doing
He
that or
loves
not.
him.
And he is he is training or teaching this young, I think it's a young girl, a young kid, how to do this. And they go to the first jump. The kid's like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. And Sean's like, well, what I like to do is I like to go up and see the jump first. We want to, look before we leave. He's like, okay, this is going to be amazing. 100%. I mean, this is that kid's vibe. And I just love the confidence, the whatever it is, let's just go. Right. I love that. But there are often times where we find ourselves in these moments, right? Where we know what to do. We want to be that kid. We want to have that confident time. I mean, when I asked you guys what stories you had, I have maybe one or two that I could pull out because there wasn't a ton of those really confident moments. And so we have these moments where we know what to do, and it's time to move and time to make that choice, right? I'm trying to make that step. And we don't, you know? I don't know if that's always a confidence issue or something else, but have you had moments like that where you're like, okay, I know what to do, but I don't know if I can or not? I know that kind of time has happened several times when I've been in meetings where I thought, I've got this thing to say, but I don't know how rocky the boat's going to get if I say it. And so I think I'm going to keep that to myself, And that's happened with me a number of times, which I'm like, I need to shake that because I don't think some of that may have been the room I was in, but more than anything, that's a me issue than the environment issue, But what about you guys? Are there moments like that you've had?
It's actually coming to me first. It's interesting is when I had my first child and through the breastfeeding and through everything, and it was extremely hard. And I was very, very depressed. I had severe postpartum depression. Now I'm also a nurse. I had been trained, what to do. I know how to help people through this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want to tell anybody those thoughts that I was having. I was afraid they would take my baby away or not, help me in the right way, even though I didn't know exactly what way I needed help. I didn't want to tell anybody because I was like, well, I have this and I don't know what to do. I just gonna deal with it. Whereas what I want to lead up to in that, I was having a conversation with a client the other day and I was asking her, I said, so she had a dilemma, we'll say, where she didn't know what to do. And what I asked her is I said, do you feel it's better to remain in your uncomfortability rather than ask this question of someone else so that you can feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
And she sat with that for a while. And I said, it's your choice. If you want to live with this and it's extremely uncomfortable for you, yes, they're scary. You don't know that person's reaction. You don't know all of these things. Well, is this something you're going to choose to live with rather than ask the question?
Yeah, that's good. So
did she?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did she come to? I don't need to know her answer, but did she come to an answer eventually, or did she just sit with it, or?
She sat with it for a while and she came with not more of an answer, I guess. It was more of like a question. So it's not, it's still in
processing.
progress. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Jason, go ahead, bud.
I appreciate the follow-up question there. So I think mine is most people wish I would sit in meetings and not say what I'm thinking because I'm definitely not afraid to drop this rock in the pond and see what happens. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of confidence up front sometimes, but inside there's a lot of self-doubt or what's really am I out of my league? Am I, what's that called when it's the social thing right now? When you're faking it till you make it, right? But you don't want to, imposter syndrome.
There you go.
Yeah. So a lot of imposter syndrome. Do I belong in this room? Is this where I fit? I'm just not wired to keep my mouth shut. And yes, that's what it really comes down to. So yeah, but I think there are lots of places I sit in where I really, really, really question secretly, even if nobody else sees it, what I'm about to say, what I'm about to do. So the confidence sometimes is a mask for the lack of self-confidence underneath, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and that's not, I guess I just shared it on a podcast that'll be on Spotify. So I suppose it'll be a little more known now, but, but for a long time, I would have never said that. I would have never been honest enough with myself or with those in the room to say that to anybody ever. And so you just exude confidence, wondering if you're doing the right thing all the time.
Jason, in those moments, how do you go back then and assess yourself? Was that the right thing to say? Was that the right thing to do? So then, then going forward, you can know, oh, even though I'm scared inside, I've thought about this, thinking about what I should say, then it comes up in a different thing. So how do I know how to do that going forward?
This is not about me, Ericka. No,
It's not.
Now you want me even more vulnerable. I don't know.
Yes, I want you to be vulnerable. Yeah,
I think through my 20s and 30s, I never looked back. There was no time to look back. There was drive forward, move fast, make decisions, build, and just appear confident in every space you walked into, no matter what. And I really worked on not appearing arrogant, but I wanted to appear confident. And I think that's been, as I've gotten, TQ said, as he's getting older, he's building confidence. As I'm getting older, I'm losing confidence. I'm losing the external confidence, but I'm gaining the internal confidence. And so I think it is this, I don't walk into a space anymore and think I've got to prove myself. I just walk into a space. I am here. I am who I am. I'm going to be who I am. And I think some of that probably over time has been from looking back and looking at the things I've learned, the things I've experienced. But I will tell you, one of the hardest things for me personally is to tell you how to do what I do. Everybody's like, oh yeah, but you do this. And I'm like, I just do it. There's no, I couldn't tell you how I do it. I just do it. And so that's one of those things now that I am slowing down would be a lie, that I do try to find time and space to look back on and to kind of see, okay, what was needed in this place. So I think for a long time, I never looked back, didn't evaluate, and probably why I wasn't confident walking in the next time, because I never stopped to think about what the impact was. I can tell you some of the negative impacts. Well, I'd rather not tell you the negative impacts of some of those decisions I made. Because they're not all fun to relive.
Right.
But as you move forward, understanding who you've been, I would say who I've been created to be. And living into that helps me move forward.
Man, I am so glad, one, Eric, you asked the question, and two, Jason, that you said what you did, because I've spent a lot of my days trying to prove myself. Some of that I think comes with being an African American in this society that we live in, and so I just have learned and come into this world going, they're already going to see me as less than whatever I bring to the table, right? And so I'm just going to start, I'm going to have to show them, I'm going to have to prove it every time out, right? And so I'm trying to prove this thing that sometimes I was wondering whether I would do or could do, or if they would see it, or if it would matter, all of those deals. And I think as I've gotten older, it's been I'm tired of doing that. It's a lot of extra work. Proving myself didn't really build confidence. It just made me question if this time, am I going to be enough, with this group or in this place or, at that time. And so, as I've been learning about myself, and who I am, not who I'm trying to prove myself to be, then the confidence that's growing is coming from accepting this is what I've got to bring, and that's what I'm bringing today. And so, yeah, I'm so glad you because I don't know that I would have thought about that had you not said what you said, Jason, about what you brought to the table. I was like, oh man, that resonates so deeply with me. Cool. So any other great follow-up questions you have, Ericka?
I was just going to say, thank you both for your vulnerability. And it kind of would, if both of you can correct me, what I hear you saying is that it came to a place more of discernment in all of these things inside.
For me, it was definitely self-discern. I wasn't trying to prove that I am something. I was just discerning this is who I am, and that's what I get to bring. And I need to be able to say, I get to bring that, not this is all I've got to bring to the table, or maybe I can shine myself up and this is what I got to bring, but I need to make it look as pretty as possible. This is what I've got. And so as I can throw it out there, then, okay, hopefully they'll accept it, but I've lived 53 years, enough time to go, sometimes they are and sometimes they're not, and that's going to be what it is. And sometimes that's going to be terrible and I'm going to have to deal with it. And sometimes it's going to be it's going to be great and awesome for those around, and they'll accept it and it'll be wonderful. But I can't try to figure out what that's going to be and try to manipulate it by bringing what I think I should bring to the table to prove to them something about myself,
I don't know about you guys in this, but the times where I've tried to prove myself are the times where I burn myself out, end up with really negative consequences. There are things that happen and you're like, relationships get broken, people get hurt. But man, when I walk in with confidence that I can do this, there is thriving. Like, things are just fun. They go well. You have this idea of like who you are in that space. And TQ, I do wonder if, I sit in a very different space now. For those who don't know, I work at a traditionally African-American church part-time, and I get to hear a lot of those stories. And it makes me sad. It makes me angry. But I think for better or for worse, when you don't know, right? So as the white guy on the podcast, like I took that and I walked into spaces with it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things as I've grown is I want to use that voice less about promoting me and more about promoting the people around me. And so how do I use the opportunities I have in those spaces to bring in ethnic leaders or to bring in female leaders who don't always have a voice in those spaces?
Right.
And yeah, so it's a weird thing to learn, to realize, to wrestle with, and then to think about, okay, how do I use that to the benefit of those around me, not just for myself?
Yeah.
And it's humbling.
I hear that. Man, thanks for sharing that. As we've been talking, I'm hearing us talk about this internal thing that we have, right? Or learning. I've heard us look at how we brought ourselves to things in the past and either have decided, yeah, that was good or it wasn't, and that's kind of a strategy deal. Like, how do I appear in this space? Right. And so there's kind of this little debate out there, and maybe it's big for some people, but this debate of, does this belief or this confidence I'm supposed to have, does that matter more than the strategy that I bring into something? Right. So like if I'm stuck, right, and I'm like, oh, how do I figure this out? Can I just believe myself through it? Like, I can do this. I know I can do this. We'll just figure it out. Let's go. Come on. And I don't have any strategy, but I'm feeling like I can. Or, if you don't have the belief but you've got this plan that's been laid out for you, you're like, okay, I don't know, but I got the plan, and moving that, is that better? Which one breaks down first, or which one trumps the other if they need to?
I feel like there's a lot of layers to that question, TQ.
We like layers.
We be like onions. Oh, there's my movie quote.
I knew it was coming. I was trying to get it out before you did. I was like, there you go.
You guys
She's
know
gonna
the
quote
movie.
Shrek.
I'm with you there. The very first one. Now, if you go beyond Shrek 1, I'm out.
Man. Okay. As you were talking, belief and strategy, the first thing that came to my mind was I can believe that, basically throw it out there. I can believe I'm not a single mom, right? Because I'm still in transition. There's all these other things that go right.
Okay.
But that's not a true statement. I am a single mom. That's why I said it's very layered, right? It comes with acceptance, and I can throw all of these words out, right? Well, I don't know how to put the words to it exactly of how, if it's not true, I can believe in it all I want. Well, it's still not true, but that doesn't apply to everything, right? As far as belief goes. So that's why I said this is so layered. And then strategy. Okay. So I'm going to go with strategy and with I'm just going to relate it to what I have gone through as far as coming to getting a divorce, right? I did all of the things I thought were right. Also, I'm going to throw in, I believed they were right to save my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of layers to that. It also takes two people. I'm not going to sit here and say it all, and I don't want to demean my ex-husband at all. And I think he's working on his own stuff. Well, again, my statement would be, I believe that, right? He has his own strategy. So I feel like the layers to this question go like, it's like years, right? Like this is not just a small thing. Well, if I then relate it to, I believe I can win this game. Well, did I practice? Or did I just show up in confidence like, oh yeah, I'm a good basketball player. I can win. I've never thrown a basketball in my life. I mean, I did play basketball. I love basketball, but so this is a complex question.
We're going beyond it too, by the way.
We are. I see you thinking a lot over there, Jason. I don't know if those are reference towards me or towards trying to answer this question.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking if I was in my 20s and I was in a situation where I had to show up with confidence at work or in a relationship, and maybe I don't have anything to fall back on. What do I want to hear in this? Like that's the space I'm finding myself in. Because I'm like, now at 47, it's mostly strategy, right? I know what needs to happen to get this done. I've been there. I have the history. I've figured it out. I've got the strategies that work. But if I don't have a life, if I don't have 20 years of professional experience, or, well, let's be honest, almost 30 years of professional experience, I don't have those strategies or those mistakes to fall back on. So at some point, I've got to trust my gut, and I've got to believe that I have something to contribute to the organization or to the conversation or to the space that I find myself in. So I think for that young leader that's sitting out there wondering, do I have a voice? Should I just sit in the room and be quiet and learn? Maybe, but maybe, and this is where it gets tricky. Maybe you got invited to that room because you have something to contribute. Now, a little humility in that contribution, a little wise counsel as you make that contribution is going to go a long way. But I just want to encourage those who don't have the history for the strategy. Don't be afraid to step out and be who you are based on where you are. Like, I think there's a lot of people who sit quiet in spaces they get invited into and then wonder why they don't get invited back. Well, we invited you in because we wanted to hear from you, and you sat quiet for an hour and a half, right? Like, be ready when you share to get pushback, to get disagreement, to get questions. But if you're in the room, you're there for a reason. And don't be afraid to trust your gut and your belief that you deserve to be in that room.
Yes,
Can I follow up a couple
Absolutely.
things?
Yeah.
So first, the going with trusting your gut. Small but serious and also can be funny story. Y'all know my oldest son has no fear of the bugs, reptiles, things in that realm. I don't even know what year it was now. A few years ago, we thought he was going to have an allergy to bee stings. I carried around that EpiPen like a crazy mom, but also being aware it's not like I don't know how to do this. It's just I know the potential of anaphylaxis. Okay. I also know my child, and I am not condoning this in any way. And if I get some calls, I am very much ready for them. I've already had a bunch of conversations. So since then, in the past, it's like 3 years or so, he has been stung twice and only localized reaction.
Mhm.
So his curious mind has been asking me for months to get stung by a bee.
Wait, he's been asking you to get stung.
Yes.
Like he wants it. All right.
He wants it because he wants to know. He's curious.
That's awesome. I just wanted to make sure I heard you
Yep,
correctly.
You heard it's no, of course. That's my answer. And finally, I'm like, okay. I said, since you are in my presence, I said, you're like, I know you want to know this, so I will be prepared. You, again, please. I feel like I'm going to get so many calls, but whatever. I'm still going to explain the story. He had already been stung twice with no reactions. I'm like, yes. I'm here. I have all the things. We're not far from a hospital. Still going to preface it with the fact that, yes, I know that anaphylaxis can happen extremely fast and Epi can also not work. I know these things, okay? 2 bees, doesn't get stung. Have a good teaching lesson, okay? So they don't want to sting you. I'm over it. I'm like, okay, thank you. Good. We got through this. He wasn't through it, of course. So he allows himself to get stung. Again, just a localized reaction. Speed up a little bit. That's day 1, localized reaction. Day 2, he starts coughing. Okay. My gut instinct told me he's having an allergic reaction. Okay. They don't always present that typical all of a sudden you can't breathe. They do not. While I am still learning, again, to trust my gut. I have had a lot of trauma and gaslighting, and these things can make you not trust your gut. My first gut instinct was he's having allergic reaction. I have also had pneumonia for 2 months. Is he getting sick? It's a sick season. Okay, all this stuff. Next day, so goes through a whole day, just coughing all day. Next day, he wakes up coughing incessantly. The swelling is from, he got stung, like mid-forearm. Swelling is through here, all the way up here. Not so concerned about the swelling, more concerned about the incessant cough, and then he vomits. So now I'm like, I think this is allergic reaction. I call the advice nurse. She says, well, just take him to urgent care. And I will say this publicly, thank you to my soon-to-be ex-husband for calling me and asking me. He said, Ericka, what's wrong with Noah? And I said, I think I need to, I'm trying to decide if I should give the epi. And he tells me, if you think you need to give the epi, give the epi. So what do? I hang up the phone. Of course, I go give the epi. What happens? His coughing stops. He feels great, right? Yeah. And still, thank you. I will say thank you to him for reminding me to trust my gut and to yes, listen to your gut. This is what you need to do. You also know this. Then back up, it's been a few days and I'm like, oh, wow, what did I used to tell all of my cancer parents, like the kids? I used to do pediatric, cancer kids, if people that don't know. A first sign can be coughing. You give that epi and you come back. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Ericka, trust your gut.
Yeah.
So the reason for just that story is it's so many layers, right? I've kind of learned to go against my gut because I've been gaslit, while also being thankful for people that have gaslit me who could speak the truth into me that I know, right? It can be tangled. It can be messy.
Yeah.
Don't ask me what the kid learned. You guys don't want to know his response.
Okay.
He learned his mom can give him epi. That's what he learned.
That's important to know in case he wants to figure out if he can get stung by something else. He knows that mom can give an epi.
With that too being said, Jason, you said, as time has gone and you're going more towards strategy, layers again, strategy works until it doesn't. I knew all of those things. I knew all of that strategy. I had the training. I've given epi. I don't even know how many times to tell you, but my belief in my gut and things had been hurt, but for some reason that strategy didn't work. So I think it's like a flowing thing, a continual learning thing. Just, it's very much, we have layers.
Yeah, man, I feel like as we've talked about this, like you said, there's so many layers and so many different ways to go through it, and it's deep, and we're like barely scratching the surface, which I kind of expected because it's a tough question. So, and we've only got a few minutes if we keep to our typical time. Okay. So I think I want to ask this question kind of as a two-parter, and this will probably be some of our closing stuff. And it's either, what have you found that has helped you make the move? Whatever the move is, whether that's confidence, whether that's strategy, whether that's both, necessarily advice giving, but just more, what's helped you make your move? Okay. If you had kind of one last thing to help somebody who's out there trying to get to that next thing and I'm struggling with it, what do you think I should do to, make that move, whether it's confidence, strategy, or whatever? Does that make sense? So 2 parts, say them again. 1, what's helped you make the moves that you've made? And 2, what advice or thoughts you can give to someone who is just going, I need to make a move and I need to try something. What would you suggest? Either or.
I first just want to throw out there in the example just now, right? It was a person that helped me make the move, right?
Yeah.
Well, I need a minute to think about deeper.
What you think I will say,
and that's good.
I think my advice, I say people all the time, so I'm going to let Ericka live in people, live and build your team and build your people. Just breathe. Just breathe. give yourself a second to think about it. We've talked a lot about like sitting in a meeting, got to say something. Most of the things when we are thinking about how we're going to step confidently into something else or be paralyzed by fear of stepping into that, we feel like we have to do it now. I got to do it now. I got to do it now. I got to step. Take a breath. Think about who you are. Think about where you've been and where you want to go. How do those things align? If you've got the time, make a pros and cons list. Like, if I say this, if I go this way, this is the positive things that are happening. It's the negative things that are happening. But all of that stops with take a breath, pause, and then move forward. Don't let yourself get caught up in the emotions of, I've got to do it now, I got to do it now, I got to do it now. When we take the breath and pause, we lead better, we respond better, we make better decisions. So that'd be my advice or thoughts. Yeah. And that's when I rush it, it blows up in my face every time. So from a personal perspective, I don't breathe very well, but when I do, I make better decisions.
Yeah, I love that. You saying breathe, just take a moment. Even if it's something you need to decide right away, you can still push the pause for a second or two. Take that breath, recenter. And then I would say, go ahead and make a move. Some of this stuff that we've been talking about, we're able to talk about because we've learned it. We're talking about past successes, past failures, and they're okay. We're still alive, right? Mostly.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes we're going to do something and it's not going to work out quite right, but we're going to learn. And that learning piece is huge. And sometimes we want to get it so right that we don't give ourselves an opportunity to learn something new. And so whether you land on, I'm coming in with confidence, knowing I've got something to bring to the table, or, man, I worked real hard and I've got a strategy, or you're going, I'm going to try to bring a bit of both, go ahead and make the move. Because being stuck back there, that's not helpful to anyone, to yourself or the people around you. And just speaking for us here at Beyond the Questions, we want to see you progress. You know, we care about you. We want to see you be able to make that move. And so if we're going down that route and you kind of, then we come back and get back on track. And you may step in it and you may find out that it was amazing. You tried something and it worked. Blowing my mind. I tried and it actually worked. That happens. Sometimes we don't think about that part of it, but it happens. So, man, we could go on talking so much longer, and it's been already a long time. So we obviously, folks, if you've been listening, we have not conquered the question of what's better, confidence or strategy. But maybe the gap isn't about confidence or strategy. Maybe it's just about learning to move, even when you're not fully sure. Hey, if any of this really kind of made you go, man, I want more of that, or that gal, Ericka, she's got some great stories. Here's what we want to do. I want to let you know that all of us here and Kelly, who's not here, we're all coaches and we want to help you. And we want to jump in and help you get to your next thing. And so you just need to know that Ericka, she loves supporting women who are going through relationship changes and getting past some trauma that they've dealt with. She's lived it and she wants to help you walk through it too. Jason loves helping leaders develop the life they want and the teams that they want, really centered around emotional intelligence and your values, trying to get all that aligned so that you are going, yes, I know exactly where I'm headed, and we're going to really see those things I've got in mind. Kelly works with people who are making a pivot in their life from one kind of success transition to another. And I'm the guy who's trying to help you if you're dealing with fear, self-doubt, and inaction, and you need to take that next step. And we care about you. We thank you so much for listening. If it's helped you, pass it on to someone else. If something else has hit you and you want to leave a comment, we'd love to hear it. And thanks for hanging with us at Beyond the Questions.
Have a great week, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beyond the Questions. Be sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date concerning future episodes. And if you would like to connect with any of the hosts on Beyond the Questions, their contact info is linked in the description below. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you on the next episode of Beyond the Questions.